I think we're probably safe, not because anything we've done. In fact, we've done a pretty poor job of getting safe. But I think we probably are after watching Leicester and Everton play out a 2-2 draw. Weird game. Really, really weird game. There was one point in the game where Calvert-Lewin missed an open goal. And then seconds later, sort of 3 passes later, I think it might have been Maddison passed it into Jamie Vardy. He sort of did a twist and a turn, dropped his shoulder, and he hit the bar. There was no time between the two. It was a crazy game of football. Two teams are fighting for their lives. I think Leicester will probably be all right. But a look at the league table now and some of the fixtures coming up. But what I really found interesting was the points that has relegated some teams this season. Now, for those of you of a certain vintage, you'll know there seems to be this sort of mystical number of 41 points, which you need to be safe. And it's been quite a while since that's actually been required, though. And I think if you get to the 40-odd points, you've done it. You've basically made yourself safe. If you get below that number, you're relying on other people helping you out, like Leicester and Everton playing out for a draw, like Leeds United suddenly shipping loads of goals. That sort of thing, you're relying on everybody else, and that's why I say I don't really feel that it's anything particularly good that we've done, because we won't get 40 points, but I think the others might be just more crap than us. It's been the case all season. Are there going to be 3 worse teams than West Ham United? It appears that there may well be. Not that that's any kind of boast at all. Now, I've got to thank Jeff, who's provided me with the figures. Jeff is a double fellow sufferer. I've mentioned him before. Not only does he follow West Ham, he's also a pinball addict as well. So he's got both of my afflictions. So I feel doubly sorry for Jeff. But what Jeff has done, he's told me, he's given me some stats. He loves these statistics. Now I'll share them with you now. 34 is the lowest number of points needed to survive. West Brom, which was in 2004-2005. Now, we have that now, although I would say that our goal difference at the moment before we play Manchester City is vastly superior to what West Brom's was then. 36 points is the number of points needed 8 out of the last 10 years. So generally, and this sort of bursts a myth, really, this 40 points. I think that's what that 40 points shows is you're safe. You're absolutely safe. So 36 is likely to keep you safe. Out of 8 out of the last 10 years. 38 was the most required in the last 10 years, and 42 was the most number of points for a team to still get relegated. Yes, you know who that was, don't you? Of course, West Ham United, 2002-2003. Too good to go down, if you remember that. What is really interesting, I've sort of looked across the graph that Jeff sent me, is the team that finishes in 17th place. Last year was 38 points, year before 39. But in 35, 2020, then 36. So it does vary. It does vary. 2021, you just had to get more than 28 points to keep you safe, which is really weird season. Now, anyway, what I thought I'd do is have a little look at the fixtures, and having looked at the fixtures, I do think Leeds are screwed. And this is something that's always a little bit fluid, isn't it? I think Nottingham Forest probably have enough in their fixtures to get out of it. Don't get me wrong, look, the Kurt Zuma situation is a massive blow to West Ham. It really is. And he did, I got it wrong, he did have a scan. Turns out they opened up the hospital for him yesterday. Guess that's what happens. It's just my one that was closed yesterday, but they gave him a scan, and what it turns out that he's got severe ligament damage, which it was tried to spin it that, he may well be back this season. Look, for anybody that's had severe ligament damage, that's nasty old stuff. The chance of him coming back, I don't know. I'm no doctor, obviously. I don't even know when the hospitals are open, but I have had severe ligament damage, and it's really painful. Granted, I didn't have the level of physiotherapy that these top professional sportsmen get, but I would think that's going to be a real struggle for him to get back in time. So for us to lose our main and our best defender is going to be a hindrance, but this is where it gets to, rather than anything West Ham will do, it's what everybody else does, and it ain't looking too clever for a lot of them. Just deal with Forest's matches just quickly. Forest are playing Southampton, probably going to win that. If not, they'll certainly get a point from it. I can't see Southampton beating Forest. I think Forest to beat Chelsea. I think anyone beats Chelsea. Had Chelsea of Chelsea are lucky. I'll put it this way: Chelsea are lucky the season's not sort of 44 games or 46 games, because Chelsea will be going down. I'm quite sure of that. I think they'll beat Chelsea. I think they'll lose to Arsenal. They might beat Palace. There's enough there. There's certainly a handful of points there for Nottingham Forest, which if you look at the moment, Forest are down there. Forest have got 30 points and a terrible goal difference. Are there 4 points in there, 5 points in there for Forest? There probably are. Everton it is interesting. They did have some spirit in that game. They did attack. They were playing away from home. They did have a go at Leicester, and there was a lot wrong, clearly. But then Everton got Brighton next. Then they got Man City. Then they got Wolves. And then they got Bournemouth. I don't think that's easy. Are there, even if we didn't win another game, what teams need to get 5 points to finish above us? Are they capable of getting 5? I'm not sure they get 5 points, because they don't look great. They don't look great at all. I'm not entirely sure. But I do think Forest can. So I think Forest get out of it. We'll just go to Leicester quickly, because Leicester's games are, what have we got here? Fulham, they might do. They play Liverpool, not so great. Newcastle, not so great. And they finish with West Ham. Now, the thing is, the difference is with Leicester, is Leicester's goal difference very good. I think by the skin of their teeth, they just manage it. And this is what I'm looking at now. And I'm seeing West Ham on 34 points with an additional game as well and good goal difference for the moment. That's before Haaland's got his hands on us, right? Maybe he won't play Haaland. Please, Pep, don't play Haaland. We're still going to get beat, I think, against Manchester City. But, maybe we get beat by less. It comes down to Leeds now. Leeds fixtures for the remainder of the season. Manchester City is their next game. Now, this is a team who are low on confidence of shipping goals. Then they play Newcastle. I mean, it is possible that Leeds United may well get into that game against West Ham, which is their third. So they play Man City, they play Newcastle, they play West Ham, and then they play Tottenham. It may well be that everyone's playing for something. That's their problem. It may well be by the time Leeds get to the West Ham game, they still only have 30 points. They probably will still only have 30 points. And their goal difference is going to be horrendous. It's already significantly bad. It then means they would have to win, as far as I can see. Well, this is to finish above West Ham, not to stay safe. They'd have to beat West Ham, us, obviously, and Tottenham. I think that's a big ask. I think Leeds are going down. And it did surprise me, because there was a time not so long ago before they started shipping goals. What, a little spring in their step. Nonto was playing well. Wasn't the only one. They looked all right, but I think not. I think Forest to get out of it. So looking at it, I think Leeds, I think Southampton, then it's Everton or Leicester. I think probably Everton. I think that's what I'm going with. Southampton, Leeds, Everton. Not necessarily, well, I was going to say not necessarily in that order. Southampton are down 24 points. Also, those that I've selected there, just looking at the form table, none of them have got a win in the last 5. They haven't. Now, look, we ain't looking great. We've lost our last 2. But we've probably got enough about us. I'm not going to labour the point about the European and the fixtures and the fatigue. I think I've done it to death over the last couple of days. Suffice to say, I'm annoyed about it. You know I am. But I'm not suggesting for a second that David Moyes is able to rely on that. I still think we do need to nick a point from somewhere, just to be absolutely sure. But it is going to be interesting. I do think we're all right, but I think it is by accident more than design. I don't think we've found ourselves in this situation because we're brilliant. I do believe Leicester's capitulation has been worse than I thought. Everton certainly has, and so has Leeds. It's no big surprise to see Forest down there. No, the amount of money they've spent, they'll be delighted to get out of it. They need to get out of it. That's going to be a real struggle for them to go down. But I think the other thing is looking at it. Any one of the teams, it ain't great for them to go down. The funny thing is, Bournemouth and Fulham probably would be all right if they went down. They're sort of set up for it. Any of the teams from 15th, that's us, going downwards, West Ham, Leicester, Leeds, Forest, Everton, Southampton, going down as a disaster. An absolute disaster. Shouldn't be for Nottingham Forest, but they spent so much money. They're not going to get the money back on that. Because you never know. No, it's not necessarily the case that you spring back up, right? That's big liabilities. I mean, financial commitments and liabilities for the teams to go down. Honestly, it doesn't bear thinking about. And I particularly, I think there's one I look at in particular. I don't know why Everton stick out more than Leeds. I guess because Leeds have been down there a little bit more recently. But I do look at Everton. I think if they go down, they're bang in trouble. It's been seriously mismanaged. I don't think we're a lot better, by the way, but I do think we're in a more healthy state in terms of our club management than Everton. I don't mean right. I think if there was a league table of how well your club is managed, infrastructure and things like that, I think we'd be down pretty, near the bottom. But they are. You know what I mean? We're a million miles away from someone like Brentford, for instance, or something like that. But Everton. Bad news for them, really. That was that miss. I'll tell you what, Calvert-Lewin, he's going to be having nightmares tonight, isn't he? That's for sure. Anyway, there you go. Just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It is hard to know, and this thing changes on a week-by-week basis, but I'm very much doing this video with in mind a bit of future prediction that we're going to lose. We're going to lose to Manchester City. But I think we probably can, Anyway, there you go. Just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in.